What's up, everybody? Game 1 here between Sweet Super Sirs and Team Kage in the Losers Bracket Round 1. Both these guys getting knocked down relatively early. Not that big a surprise, I don't think, really, for Sweet Super Sirs. They're sort of a inter-division team. Sometimes in gold, sometimes in diamond, and really on the cusp of that diamond division. But Team Kage certainly deserving of their place in diamond division, and perhaps in a little bit of danger here because they are in the loser's bracket after losing their round of 16 match, and certainly poised here to get knocked out already if they cannot manage to take down Sweet Super Stars. So either one of these teams, or both of these teams, certainly on the edge of being eliminated at this point in the Diamond Cycle 9, but they have a series left before they are eliminated, or one of them is eliminated, and of course one of them will move on. So that's me just stalling for time so they can get the damn bands out, which is taking longer than it usually does. Scout, Warbeast, Keeper of the Forest, and Ophelia is the last band, so nothing too surprising there. 3 suicides in Scout, Keeper, and Warbeast, plus Ophelia the Jungler always gets banned. So often we see her banned. Very powerful hero, and does a lot to control the game. Very strong utility, strong bush, strong gag, and decent team fighter, so nobody really wants to deal with that. Wretched Hag going to be the first pick here for Sweet Super Sirs. Obviously very strong hero, providing tons of versatility. You pick that first and your team doesn't go, oh yeah, I know what they're going to do with that. I know what their game plan is now. That's the Suicide Hag, and maybe he's the number 2 or number 3, and he's going to be the backup carry. Is that the primary carry? Do we have to deal with a magic burst-based carry that's highly mobile, or do we have to not really address that so much as he's playing the mid-roll? Maybe he's going to be the initiator. He's going to go blink and then get a sheep stick first or something like that and try to hex somebody, and the rest of the team will follow up with the damage. So maybe we need to address our reactions and get shrunken heads for that, or maybe he's just going to go pure right click on top of a Grimoire, and it's going to be a problem that way. So obviously plenty of options still left here for Sweet Super Sirs, and they continue keeping that versatility with Bubbles, who theoretically can be played in any of the 3 lanes, because we've seen enough short lane Bubbles at this point to be like, oh yeah, you could put him there. I don't like it. I hope they stop doing it. Short lane Bubbles does not win games. Please stop. And I hope they do. Bubbles should be a mid or a suicide hero. I think ideally suicide. That's his best role. Get him. He can still get a bottle. He doesn't need that much money, so he'll still be able to do stuff in team fights with his spells. And he can recover a little bit once he gets kill involvement, and he'll get his GPM back. So don't like that. Parasite, now the last pick here for Legion, as this first picking stage went really fast. Obviously going to be in the jungle, and I like that quite a lot. I hope the bans here for Legion will now be focused on getting rid of those junglers. Tempest, really the only one left, so should just be an easy ban right there. Yep, and we see the Tempest taken out, so no question, going to be a jungle versus a dual support strat here for Hellborn. And lots of magical burst damage here from Legion. Bubbles and Parasite providing most of it, but Hag providing quite a lot as well. Her Bat Blast does just as much as anybody. The difference is cooldown, obviously, with the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea, Parasite's Face Hug, and Leech being much shorter cooldowns than the Bat Blast from Hag. Plus, presumably Hag is now going to be running more of a farming capacity. He'll either be the mid or the short laner. I can't imagine they'd put Hag in the suicide role with the Bubbles already on the table, unless, of course, they pick up another short laner, in which case that could still happen, but I wouldn't really prefer it. Well, actually, in that situation, Suicide Hag and mid-Bubbles would be just fine. So, anyway, probably Legion looking for an initiator and either a Suicide or a short laner, depending on how they want to switch these lanes up, but still plenty of options left. Parasite, the only hero here that's really locked into a lane. Meanwhile, on the Hellborn side, we have all 3 heroes that are sort of locked into lanes. Itcher and Flux, almost certainly Brown mid. Obviously, a very powerful combo area, as Flux is going to pull everybody into that energy field and force them to take a silence if they're outside of it, and take a bunch of damage per second if they are or not, or whatever. So, and obviously that's a very powerful laning combination as well. Magnetic Surge plus the release, that's plenty of damage, and then KAG is easier to land when you know when the hero is going to be, and then of course a turret coming out for lots of slowing as well. So hero's going to be very slow, you take a bunch of damage, take a stun, and there's a lot of kill potential in that mid lane, but it does sort of lock TKAG down. They've definitely got, they pretty definitely have an Engineer Flux mid, Sandwraith short, and we'll see what they do the last 2 picks, but I suspect this is going to be a true suicide and a babysitter for Sandwraith in that short lane. We'll see if Penguin has done stuff with that, and yeah, Tempest, Empath, and Grix. Removing the Empath for Sandwraith, as the Empath Sandwraith is a very strong combination, and then Grix, one of the more powerful true suicides in the game. So certainly very, very strong bans there. Just that's pretty much on point in terms of what you want to be doing. So strong drafting here from Penguin. Liking it. Hellborn taking out Torture, Ravener, and Kraken, getting rid of a couple of supports, or one support, excuse me, as they already have one of their own, so they can afford to get rid of one. And 2 mid-initiator player tanks, so that makes a ton of sense considering Legion's lineup. Those are exactly the type of heroes that they look to pick up, but Pestilence is still on the board, and Pestilence arguably the best of those 3 heroes in terms of initiation and semi-carry potential, so I love that Pesty pick on top of the Pyromancer. Strong, strong team here from Legion, I feel like. And it looks like we're going to look at a Bubble Suicide, Pesty, Pyromancer, middle, and Wretched Hag short lane with Parasite in the jungle. This is a fantastic lineup. I really do think so. They've got stuns and Pesty and Pyromancers and some from Bubbles as well. They've got slows, they've got burst damage from magic, they've got some sustained damage once things go to late game. They've got Hag and Pesty both providing a lot of right-click auto attacks. Pyromancer's a pretty strong pushing hero. They don't have a ton of building damage, which is going to perhaps prevent them from taking towers, but not so much as long as they group up a little bit. They should be mostly okay. And in general, just a very, very strong 5-man team here. They're going to team fight well. They're going to gank well. They have some very strong initiation with Pestilence. The timing makes a ton of sense. Bubbles and Parasite and Pyromancer will get very strong in the mid game. Pesty and Hag certainly will as well, and they'll scale a little better than the rest of the heroes here too. So I'm really liking the lineup here for Sweet Super Sirs. Hellborn's lineup also quite strong. They pick off a Tundra and a Luna as their last 2 picks. So a Luna, of course, giving them some gank potential. So does Tundra, of course. Tundra, really a utility hero, I think, in my opinion. He does a little bit of everything. Doesn't do anything super, super well, but will contribute to pretty much every facet of the game. And he is heading bot, so I'm really hoping this isn't a suicide. But Kindman is their suicide player, so it's very possible we'll see a suicide Tundra here. I don't like that lane decision, but we'll see what happens. Is like I said, I was expecting a true suicide, and that's not what they got here in this Tundra. He's going to be able to avoid ganks pretty well because of that Tundra Hawk, and I guess he's assuming he's going to be a short lane Hag, which is going to be the case. But with the Haunt Apply, it's going to be slightly difficult for him to stay in lane. He should be able to grab some CS piercing shards and hopefully won't die because of the Hawk, but he's just not going to get much down here in this bot lane, and perhaps there were superior options for the Hellborn. Obviously, without looking at the hero pool selection screen right now, I can't tell you precisely what they might have been, but I mean, to be fair, a lot of the suicides were banned out, but Tundra almost certainly not the best option despite that. Kronos is still available, very strong suicide, good against Hag. Regardless, Hellborn going on that suicide Tundra. Engineer's in the middle lane. I assume he's going to be joined here by Flux, and yes, that's going to happen as you roll observer. And up top, it's going to be Luna and Sandwraith. As it looks like we're running a mana... Okay, this is a pseudo tri-lane here for the Hellborn, and I don't mind this, actually. Bubbles in the mid. Yeah, I quite like this. Just because Bubbles is not going to die to this combination. Like, to kill Bubbles, you need burst damage, and there's a fair bit of that from them here. But it's mostly going to be a lot of right-click auto attacks because the Magnetic Surge doesn't do very much damage, or at least doesn't do that much damage. It's a lot about the slow and stuff and the stun from KAG, turret, and release. Bubbles doesn't care about that because he has a Shell Surf. So he should be mostly okay in this lane. I don't think he's going to kill anybody, especially because Flux is so tanky. And assuming that Engineer actually comes back here, as he's roaming the woods right now. Kind of figuring he doesn't need to be there in the early levels, and it's definitely true. And then up top, they're going to run the pseudo tri-lane. So Sandwraith is not going to have nearly as much farm as he thought he would, assuming there's going to be a level suicide here. With the dual stuns, it's going to be a bit of an issue. Obviously, a Luna stun is there, but it's relatively short. I think at level 1, it's definitely only level 1 second or something. Yeah, before she takes it, I can't actually see, apparently. Regardless, dual AoE stuns here from the Legion side, so if Pesty gets a nice impale, the Dragonfire on top of that is going to be very strong. Phoenix Wave to follow it up. And Sandwraith is not the tankiest hero early game. So the amount of burst on Legion, especially if Parasite comes in from the jungle, should be plenty to take him out. And even with the Desert's Curse giving him unit walking and tree walking or terrain walking, I guess is the right term for it, he should be mostly okay. Or the Legion side should be able to burst him down effectively. So I'm liking the draft. I'm liking the laning decisions here from Sweet Super Surge, and they came to play, man. Luna off to the side, not going to get caught up on anything. So we'll see how they do here. So far, a little behind in both Golden Experience, but really not by very much. And the other thing this does, of course, is with NG roaming around here, as now Pyromancer's going to be in some trouble. But Pesty's looking to line up the Impale. Will take a Keg Stun there, but has the Impale available. Well, takes the Power Throw on top of it, but of course, only on the LBR1. Dragon Flame right now. Parasite's here as well. Turret comes out. That's going to be a Jerry Bloodlust onto Sandwraith. Pesty gets returned on, but that's definitely a nice kill. Lightning hits, and so does the Keg. This is actually going to be another kill on Pyro. So 2 for 1. Honestly, though, I still think the Legion take that. Because the point of this lane right here is to shut down the Sandwraith. And if Sandwraith does not have an good early game, she has real problems recovering. This is not a hero that can be like, oh, I mean, there's a reason Sandwraith doesn't suicide. Despite the fact that, you know, he's got the Desert Curse as an escape mechanism, it does not recover. It's not like Bubbles, you know, where you can have high kill involvement early on, and you can just keep farming, or keep roaming and farming and stuff, and you have tons of early magical burst, or even Hag that has a similar mechanism. You know, Sandwraith just sort of has to have a nice early good start. And right now with Pesty at 10-0 compared to Sandwraith's 10-0, this is not a short lane win, and it really should be considering NG spending all his time up here. As a result, Bubbles and Flux are not, you know, Flux gets no advantage. This is a 1v1 lane, and Flux is at 14-1 compared to 17-6 from Bubbles, so Bubbles winning middle. On bot, we've got Tundra sitting at 16-2 compared to Hag at 16-3, so Hag's slightly ahead here, really not by much. And this lane is more or less even. I think the difference here is just going to be what Hag's doing right now, and Tundra needs to run the hell away. He's got a bottle and a health bot and some tango, so he's doing plenty up top. Gore proc going to be taken, and Desert's Curse is needed to get away because his support is nowhere nearby. Parasite going to get the guard the rune up top. Bubbles will pick it up. And perhaps look for a gank here. Shell Surf goes off, will hit Engineer, but not going to port in. And so he's got a regen, so presumably he's going to activate that relatively soon. On bot, Hag went to grab the refreshment rune. She does have a bottle and a health pot. We'll take the piercing shards from both ends. HoN going out once again. Up top, NG getting chased down a little bit. Flight from Pestilence. He actually will evade the turret a little bit. Kegstun will hit Pesty. And Leech back in a couple of seconds there. Engineer getting chased down. There comes Penguin for the gank, and off to the side. TPS Pricelets gets picked off. Aluna now perhaps in some trouble. Wordicide does still spot her out, but Pesty and Power, but don't want to really let Sandwraith have this much uninterrupted time. He's level 5, so he's outliving both of them, but actually Pyro taking some damage here. Puts the stun down, evaded, and Pesty coming in for backup, so Pyro's not in any real danger. Has the nice health pot. So look at that gold chart. It's pretty nice here. As up top, actually, Parasite gets picked off. Oh look, there's 3 heroes here, and you're dead now. So Flux coming in from middle for the gank. Ward here for some reason didn't spot him out. He couldn't have been invisible because the 4-minute rune was a regen, but whatever. Flux released, looking for something here as Bubbles is getting pulled back in, but he activates the health bot and he'll be totally fine now. Perhaps looking for a turnaround, has Kelpfield available. And he's going to put it down here, so this is going to guarantee him the top rune, and this actually with a few auto attacks could result in Flux's death. And Flux is dead here, yeah. That's a bit of a misplay there. NG going to grab the top rune, which is I believe refreshment, as on bottom Hag bottled an invis. So Bubbles is like, didn't get the rune, but I got a kill. It's worth it. NG heading back top. Desert's Curse there onto Pyromancer, and he's in some trouble. Takes the power throw and the keg. Puts the impale down, and actually that was probably a mistake as it prevented Pyromancer from living. If he put the impale onto Sandwraith, that might have been a kill. Sandwraith taking a bunch of damage from the tower here, and so is really everybody. Health bot going to be activated by Sandwraith, and Pesty's trying to dig his way out of here. Looking for something. Oh my god, Engineer's going to die. Power throw not going to hit. Oh god. Besty's dead, and the port there probably might have saved somebody. Hag gonna jump in here looking for something, activates the Invis rune, Shell Surf out there, and there goes Sandwraith, so. Probably not the best tower. If you ported defensive tower here, you still would have had the blink to see Sandwraith coming, and that would have done a lot of damage to Aluna, and possibly Sandwraith. So they do clean up the kill on a Sandwraith there, and he's not doing too well. 260 gold per minute compared to 353 by Bubbles, who's just dominating that mid lane, and 266 on Bestie. So both the suicides are winning, actually, as Tundra has 270 gold per minute compared to Hag at 250. That's very strange. Wouldn't typically see that. Sandwraith ultimate going off, looking for somebody who's alone. Hag is alone. We'll see if she gets jumped. No. In fact, going to look for Bubbles here. Is diving the base, but the kelp field's there, and oh my god, bad decision. What are you doing, buddy? Jump here onto Tundra. Takes the avalanche, though, and that's a bad, as NG was coming in, so bad timing. That easily would have been a kill if it wasn't for NG. But that's going to get cleaned up as Penguin on this Bubbles like, hello. Now, Aluna coming in from the side, and the power throw hits. Now, Bubbles is like, maybe I shouldn't be here anymore. Chugs the bottle, and both the stuns, but it's just not enough damage. And now Aluna could be in some trouble, as these auto attacks from Bubbles are hurting. There's a Shell Surge, going to pick him off. Now going to port to the back, and Engineer's in a lot of trouble. He's going to die as well. That was well done from Bubbles, and he's going to get out of here just barely. Holy crap. Well frickin' played. That was really, I'm sorry, that was really impressive. And 9 to 6 hero kills right here. And Sweet Super Servers are just there. They're looking real good right now. Flux and Illusion in the woods. And this Parasite's like, hello, Illusion. I will kill you with my tornado. I don't know why I'm watching that. So they have a golden experience advantage. Experience less surprising considering Parasite's presence, but very often you won't see a gold advantage for junglers. Especially when they go up against second support teams, because they will often lose lanes hard enough. But this has sort of been a tri-lane up here with NG spending so much time, and it really hasn't worked out that well. Sandwraith's levels are a little depressed because of it, I think, but not by too much. More importantly, he's at 250 gold per minute. Meanwhile, bot Kindman falls once again as Parasite comes in for the gank. Let's go back even further. I want to see this from the start. I want to see his failure. There's a leech and the haunt face hog on top of it, plus a Sonar Scream, respectful auto attacks, and like, hello, you're dead. 10 to 6 now. And this Bubbles is getting crazy. Bot room will be guarded by Hag. Up top it's going to be guarded by Pyromancer. It's going to be a refreshment top and bottled by Hag. It's a haste on bottom. So strong rune control here from the Legion side. And continue to look at these GPM charts. It's like, well, the Legion won every lane. Bubbles beat Flux, and Pesty beat Sandwraith, and Hag beat Tundra, and Parasite beat the jungler, the supports, obviously. Pyromancer over here suffering a little, but not that much. 82 GPM for a support, especially this early on, is not that awful. Now Pesty perhaps in some trouble as he's getting flanked, puts the bugs down, and Bubbles is here to help out. Activates the flight, and they need to get the hell on out of here. They do have a ward over here, so I saw Bubbles come through, and he's going to walk by a Rev. Going back middle. And it looks like, perhaps running through the jungle, maybe trying to pick somebody off. Port coming in middle. It's going to be Flux. He's got plenty of damage. He might be able to kill this Flux. 1,000 health. Sandwraith going to activate the ultimate, looking for somebody. Kindman actually getting the pick off on bottom. That's where he went. Haste rune activated, but that's not going to stop the avalanche, and it's just a little too much damage. Bubbles going to try to lock down Flux here, take some damage there, and hasn't used anything yet. This is a little dangerous. Shell Surf gets activated, and he's just like, okay, I'm not really sure what your plan was here, Bubbles. Release gets dropped, hits nothing. Now he's in trouble. Kelpfield goes down, and NG's going to be here to help out. Turret will do some damage, but that's still going to be a kill. Keg stun gets avoided. And there's this Leech, looking for the Face Hug on top of it. There it is. Shell Surf going out will be just enough damage. Now Sandwraith's off to the side looking for a jump on both these guys, and he's going to get it. There's one. There's... Oh, Infest's going to go out. Run. Run, buddy. Yep, this is death. Holy crap. Is this not death? Desert Curse not available. Wow. Nice evasion. There's buyback on Penguin there. Does not have a Kelp Field. Shell Surf goes out on top of the Sono Scream. Going to try to port away. Not going to happen. Solid buyback there, especially for Bubbles, a hero that doesn't typically need buybacks later on. To pick off the carry right there, not a bad idea at all. Gonna try for the port. No! Wow. I'm not even sure if he took the damage from that. Oh, he did. Throwing the ult there. Little optimistic. Release and the Magnetic Surge doing a bunch of damage. Shell Surf will hit both him and Engineer, as for some reason he just didn't sidestep it. But this Bubbles is just going off, man. It's been rather impressive. Pesty up top, just taking free for him. 9-1-1 Bubbles. 340 gold per minute in an aggressive pseudo tri-lane. That's reasonably impressive considering it seemed like Hellborn responded with an actual tri-lane of their own. And Pesty should have been shut down here, but he really, really wasn't. Pesty, or Flux there, taking the Kelp Field stun and just too much burst damage. Power Throw actually hits both of them. Sandwraith looking for a kill here. I'm not sure if he's going to find one. Power Supply gets activated. Now he might get turned around on Hags here as well. There goes the HoN. And we're going to see some more... Yep, there's playing. So Jade Monkey getting wrecked. Bot Tower's getting pushed in a little bit by Tundra and Engineer down here. 15 to 8 hero kills now, 4,500 guild lead, 6,700 experience lead, and Sweet Super Surge are doing so well at this point. Engie hide in the woods, of course, sees Parasite. Puts the keg stun out, does not hit Parasite. And the Engie field goes out. Gonna try to get this, nice! But this Pesty's gonna pay for that, or Parasite's gonna pay for that. He goes down, Shell Surf there coming in, and Tundra's now in a lot of trouble. Gets the bugs on him, that's gonna be plenty enough for these auto attacks. So 2 for 1 right there. Sandwraith ultimate coming in, perhaps looking for a pick on somebody on bot. Not going to find him. Up top instead. Pyromancer going to take some damage, but ports out successfully. And Bat Blast taken by Luna here. She's just going to die. Takes the Emerald Red Stun onto Hag, but has the Blink available, so in a few seconds. Nope, there's a Sono Scream. That's plenty. Now Blink away. Magnetic Surge putting her back in, but has an Invis-Rude bot. Just, hello, I'll bottle that, thank you very much, and run away. Portal Key picked up on Bubbles at 14 minutes on top of Power Supply, Boots, and Bottle. So he's going to be very difficult to kill, to say the least. Already level 13. Both the supports on Hellborn are 6. They're just going to be food for Bubbles at this point. I mean, honestly, so is everybody. Flux is the only one who can maybe not die to him solo. But, like, Sandwraith with 950 health, he'll die. With, if Bubbles has his full combo and his one-on-one, he'll die. Tundra probably will die. The only thing that could save him is the Avalanche. But a nice take cover or Song of the Sea from Bubbles could certainly stop that. Up top, 2 ports coming in. One is Bubbles, another one. Of course, Public Key Bubbles there. As goes the Kelp Field, and now Sandwraith in a lot of trouble. Impel Stun there. Kegstone hits FST, but that's not going to be nearly enough to stop the kill on Sandwraith. Now they're going to try to pick up both supports and should be successful. Hag does not have her Bat Blast, but has the HoN onto a Luna. She's going to be the target of choice. And she's going to try to die to neutrals here, but Sono Scream's going to finish her off. Energy Field going down, but easy kill anyway. And it gets killed. Bot Tower falls, meanwhile, in favor of the Hellborn team, but they pick off 3 heroes, so I think they're pretty okay with that. And then they're going to be grouped up here up top, and they will push this tower. With 5 heroes able to take it down relatively fast, and of course Parasite diverting the creep wave somewhat. So 66,000 gold lead, 10,500 experience here at 15 minutes for this Legion side, and they're just dominating this game. Portal Key away from Pestilence as he already has his. 2 ports coming in. Dragonfire Stun hits nothing. Flux pulls everybody back in. Sandwraith ultimate, of course, is active. Puts the Desert Curse out. Both Okami and Curse and fall. So Pesty and Pyro dying relatively fast there, but I think that's not going to be about it. Pestilence is getting chased down over here. Parasite, excuse me. It's getting chased down. Power Throw connects. Portal Key on Tundra, and that's going to be a couple more auto attacks. Oh my god, run away. He does not have Infest for a while. This is going to be a problem. Puts the Leech down. He's just like, what do I do? Oh god, Power Throw gonna miss. TPS Priceless up top, and that dies. As he just takes too much damage.
I'm just getting started.
And Flux is chasing down Bubbles here. Parasite finally gonna die. This fight's going on all over the place. Top tower is kind of deniable. You know, if you consider what 12 health, 22 health, deniable.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
And then with the Hawk up here, this is going to be easy to deny for Sandwraith, as for some reason they don't want to. No, maybe they don't want to deny it. Mid tower falls in the meantime. And so I think the only thing that Legion is not doing super well is pushing. Bubbles using all of his stuff and probably should get the hell out of here. Takes the cover, but that's going to be a death here now because there's the kelp field. Is he going to be able to evade this long enough to get his portal key up? Yeah, he will. 2, 1. There's the portal key away. Wood's getting cut down. Shell Surf goes off to the side and he'll port over there. Has no port though. So at this point he's a little stuck. Sandwraith ultimate back. Not that soon, 40 seconds, so Bubble should be able to get the hell out of here in time. Of course, has no cooldown, so if they team fight here, it won't be too great. Impel stun there onto Illuna, and he's going to, oh god, kill him. Thank you. Energy field goes down, hits nothing. Bubbles in the background now, looking for some damage. Pesty going to put down the stun, and it's going to live as Jade Monkey falls immediately. Entire Hellborn team getting evaporated, and Pesty survives. Codex bot on Parasite. And top tower should have denied it. That's why I hate this. Like sometimes teams will do this. Oh, bait the tower. You know, they'll come in here, try to deny it. We'll pick them off, get a team fight. Okay, well, just deny the tower. It's so much. I think it's really the right play. It's so much safer, and sometimes that works, but it feels like most of the time it doesn't. It's really optimistic play. But sometimes you'll bait them into a tower kill and all die, and then not deny the tower, like you know, what happened about 30 seconds ago. Regardless, Illuna going to be seen up top. Now Parasite is awfully dangerous to her because he's got a Codex, so he should be able to kill her in easy, about half a second. Has 739 health, and that's definitely within Parasite's burst range. So we do that estimates. She's looking for Steam Boots here for some reason. I much prefer the Ghost Marchers on Illuna. Seems to consistently be the better build. As this camp didn't stack for some reason. I guess they're too close. Regardless, mid tower gonna get pushed in here, but the Hellborn have a pretty substantial response. Tundra, of course, with that portal key. We'll be able to jump somebody. I'm guessing it'll be Hag. Yep. Avalanche there, and she's actually gonna get pulled back. That's prevented the piercing charge damage, but still too much stun for anything. And this mid tower is gonna fall. Denied. Finally. Over here now, Flux pulling into both Bubbles and Pesty, and Mizukami will fall in the background as Parasite's like, hello. Bubbles running the hell out of there. Has a portal key available. Desert Curse will not hit him. Of course, the Legion creeps, or Hellborn creeps, are following him around. Cold Chill are going to be taken there. Has a Shell Surf available, we'll be able to port to it, and should get the hell on out of there. So nice PK away. Just, god damn it, it's so hard to catch that hero. Flux over here, perhaps in some trouble. Parasite has the Codex up in a couple of seconds, and the rest of the team's here anyway, so he's in some danger there. He goes off the bat, and actually Tundra now could die. Nope. And it's only the Leech is available. He did blow the Codex and Flux. And Bubbles with the Kelp Field looking for a jump. Sees Tundra. And then Tundra sees the whole Legion team, so he should probably not be here anymore. Just thinking. But it looks like they're looking for an engagement anyway. Power Throw coming through. And we'll just take out the Pyromancer illusions. Pesty going to take some damage from Piercing Charge, but that's not going to be enough as the Legion snipe some Ancients. Again, something. So obviously things went pretty well here for the Legion side. 10k gold, 15k experience, and they certainly have late game with Hag and Pesty. So, yeah. Jade Monkey's actually not doing that bad. 275 GPM, considering that he's 3, 7, and 5. Really not that terrible. Not great, and like I said, this is a hero that likes to have a good early start because he doesn't recover very well. I mean, they can basically keep crapping on him for the rest of this game. He's got 1,000 health. So Parasite, you know, if he receives no support, Parasite should be able to solo kill him. Bubbles should be able to solo kill him. Parasite has a haste rune here, looking for a jump, takes the keg stun, and the energy field actually doesn't hit him. Now I'm going to take the Infest gonna get stuck a little bit. Finally activates the Invis as Sandwraith ports in looking for the jump. So there goes his ultimate. Now the rest of the Legion side like, oh, Sandwraith's ult's down. Desert's Curse thrown out as Pesty has flight looking for the engagement. Puts the bugs into Sandwraith and like, okay, he's too close to the base. Not worth it. And Legion side once again playing aggressive on that Sandwraith. I like it. He's not farmed yet. He's got a Quick Blade. That's it on top of Steam Boots and Energizer. So he's a little fast, but not tanky. He's not going to be able to survive for very long if you bring 1-2 heroes in for burst. He'll just die. Jump here onto Pyromancer will immediately get destroyed. Just nothing you can do about that. Thunder going to port out successfully. Obviously they have no stones, and Silence does not interrupt the teleport for some reason. I mean, that's a good thing. I don't think it should. That would make Silences perhaps a little too powerful, but I mean, because it used to be that I think maybe just in Dota, that teleports were channeling spells. So if you silence somebody, it would stop the channel. And then they would lose the teleport. Interesting that Nasty Baboon, this hag, is only at 330 gold per minute. Has that white brand at 1100 gold, so we'll get a relatively on-time Grimoire. But not as fast as one might expect, considering how strong the Legion's gold advantage is. You can see here, it's just because it's really spread out. I mean, Pestilence is the 4th best farmer on the Legion side, and he's just below Hellborn's best farmer. They have 4 heroes here with over 300 gold per minute, so they really do have spread farm. They don't have it concentrated on any one hero. And I would say that's generally good, because nobody's particularly weak. It's going to be hard for Hellborn to focus one guy down and kill him. If they do that, jump here onto Tundra, Manuel, Phil going down, and he's going to try to pour it out. Will not be successful. Too much burst from Parasite. That sucks too, because then you lose the 135 gold and the teleport cooldown. So when you respawn, his cooldown is too long, but if you do that early, like sometimes you respawn, your teleport's still on CD. Like, damn it. I can't go back to lane. Sandwraith ultimate activated. Wretched Attack can be the targeted choice. Power Throw activated, and she's just going to die. Did not have the blink available. Nice pick there. But Legion, I think, playing this the way that they should. Continue to get picks. You have fat magical burst. Just keep being aggressive. Hang out in the Hellborn Woods the entire game. It's what they've been doing. It's what they should be doing. And I like it. Perhaps a little more push is in order. Hellflower on bubbles at 24 minutes. That's pretty hilarious. Honestly, I think I would have gone Sheep here. Just because in the late game, Sandwraith is going to be all of their damage. You have a blink. If you blink Sheep, he's definitely going for a Shrunken Head. No question this game he's going for a Shrunken Head. That probably should be his first item. He gets a Light Brand, or Fire Brand first. I don't really hate that. But Shrunken Head should be his first legitimate item, assuming that Firebrand's just basically a farming tool. Slate going to fall over here in the meantime, as he just gets caught. So much burst damage, even for a Flux. Tundra looking for a reinitiation. Avalanche and Piercing Charge onto 2. Pyromancer drops the ult, but falls in the meantime. And the rest of the Hellborn side is doing pretty well here. They actually managed to kill Tundra, but Bubbles is in a lot of trouble. Puts the kill field down, Shell Surf away. And will he be able to get the hell out of this? 1 second on the portal key, has that. And meanwhile, Pesty jumping in. We'll get the pick on the Bat Blast misses. Engie dies, though. Then just Curse going down there. Take cover, prevents it from actually hitting. He's getting chased down, but Mizukami and Luna falls, and Sandwraith's like, well, that was fun for a little bit, and then my team died, and now it's not fun anymore. Take cover over there. Gonna try to snipe with the Shell Surf? No. Hawk's got it, scouting him out. And he'll just port away. Sandwraith going to activate the ultimate, and it doesn't follow him. So, bit of a wasted ult there from Sandwraith. And yet another one fight here from Legion. 14, 1, and 9 on Bubbles. Flux jumps in, on top of a couple of ports, and Pesty's in a little bit of trouble. Activates the flight, trying to get away. Needs to put the, there goes the Impale. Has portal key available soon. And he should be good here. PK is away. The flight just makes him so damn fast. Power Throw not going to connect. And he should be alright. England and Mig going to throw down the Shell Surf and then leave when realizing that there's a lot of heroes here. Tundra off to the side, has an Avalanche, going to look for it. Take cover there and nice portal key. So Penguin with the reaction time. There's the ultimate orb from Hag, and she should have her Grimoire shortly. Honestly, it is a little late. She went for quite a bit of build-up. Steam Boots, Power Supply Bottle, and Grave Locket, so... Not that surprising that it's late. A little surprising that her farm isn't better. But I suppose Blue does have all the kills. Out of 33 kills, he has 14. To be fair, he also has 9 assists. Jump in here on Pessy, and he's going to take everything, going to get bursted down really fast. Just nothing he can do about that. The jump from Hellborn is a little too strong. As they do have their own burst damage. They had to bring 4 heroes to go Pestilence, but they have plenty of burst themselves. Jump now into Sandwraith as Bubbles is looking for a kill. Kelfield goes out, and he's going to keep auto-attacking. Energizer activated. And now Bubbles is thinking maybe this wasn't a great idea. We'll port out, and that should still go. Yeah, it's weird. Parasite over here going to get caught in the jungle. So, things not going so well all of a sudden here for the Hellborn side. As Sandwraith's a little too powerful now for Bubbles to take him down on his own. Not a surprise. He has investments on top of 1,300 health, so... Not a big deal that Bubbles can't take him down, even though he's level 18. He's looking for a pick here into Tundra, but he's not going to find a solo kill on even on a level 15 Tundra. Shell Surf goes down. So I'm going to see, help him clean up the creep wave. Put in a bunch of damage here, but he doesn't have the kelp field available for a bit. 30 seconds, yeah, so this is just not worth it. Just some harass damage. Tundra off to the side, running away. Pessy looking for the ruin, will be double damage and will spawn right in front of him. Does not have a bottle though, so waiting for Bubs. Angie sees him, but yeah, not going to do anything about it. Word of Rev going down will counter this Word of Rev, and should be in range for the Word of Sight if they actually see it, is the question. So speaking of items, meanwhile, depending on that bubble, of course, having a lot of build-up, plus a Health Flower and a Portal Key. Parasite going for the Codex build. Has it level 4 now, so he's death to both supports and possibly Sandwraith. I think if he plays it right, he could probably take him out. There's so much damage coming out from him. Level 700 damage Codex is theoretically half his health. That's before all the mitigation, but still. Bot tier 1 tower finally falls in favor of Legion, as they look like they're pushing. For once, all 5 are grouped up here. And these towers will fall relatively fast once the push starts from them. There is a secondary. They're going to port top now to defend this, and Hellborn will have to back the hell off. So Sandwraith's going to port, and perhaps look for a jump as he does leave, go bottom. Not going to look for a kill here. Bubbles is double damaged. Top tower denied. Desert's Curse, they're going to actually take the damage. And PK is available. No, it's the Shell Surf down, and for some reason eats the stun. Now he's dead. Oh, was he taking mitigation because of the Dissipate from Sandwraith? That's very possible. Tundra going to jump Parasite down here, puts the Infest down. Power Throw misses. He needs to run away, not going to happen. A little too much chaser. Energizer gets popping now, he's dead as well. So a couple strong picks here from Hellborn. Well done. Not sure it was worth the 2 towers, and they still are pretty far down in golden experience, but sort of trying to inch their way back.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
And they might have the out-carry potential here if they get enough farm on Sandwraith. They're kind of squinting at it. Because Sandwraith's a better carry than Hag or Parasite, to be sure. But I think Hag and Parasite's better than Sandwraith and Tundra. Sorry, Pestilence. I said just so many damn heroes that start with P. Codex 5 now finished on Parasite. Not Pestilence, Parasite. So I'm guessing his next item is going to be a Portal Key. Join his brethren in that jumping potential. Legion grouped up here as for pushing middle down, last outer tower, and no surprise they're interested in taking it. Shouldn't be that big a deal. Their auto attacks are fairly strong, especially with the illusions here, so this is going to be a dead tower. Will it be contested? Doesn't look like it. Hellborn are more interested in taking these Ancients.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn
And there's the
tower.
tower. So no more towers here for Hellborn. HoN can get picked off, or at least spotted out, as the Ballista's going after it. And there's the hatch to finish it off. So Legion now still grouped up, going to take Hellborn Woods. Definitely the right call. Sandwraith Ultima going out looking for something, but the entire team's grouped up, so he does not want to initiate on this. And Legion feeling like that's their cue to leave, apparently. Hag's farm starting to seriously pick up 385 gold per minute, now overtaking that Sandwraith pretty hard. And getting up to where Bubbles is at 474. This is probably one of the most farmed Bubbles I've ever seen. Sandwraith over here actually does not pick off those creeps, but will say hello. Sandwraith activates the Geometer's Bane, tries to get away with the stun, but a nice Hellflower there stops everything and immediate death. So much burst damage. So Hag's a little low here and probably wants some help because Tundra could pick her off, but it looks like they're going to go push top, and I really cannot argue with that decision. Pyromancer coming to join them. Ult on cooldown for Bubbles, but FaceHug will be back in a second, and everything else is available. 40 seconds on that Sandwraith, so this should be a tower kill. Pretty strong anti-bush, though, here from the turret and the power throw. Somebody just needs to man up and tank this tower, I think. On bot, Tundra working on a secondary tower, and Legion looking like they're going to abandon this and port to it, so... They don't have the ability yet to push buildings. Not really the most surprising decision. They do have some issues with tank. Pestilence is obviously the tank for this team, or the nominal tank for this team, but not the strongest hero in terms of strength. Flux chasing him down here is not going to happen. Sandwraith has an ult, but won't activate it to try to catch him. As he actually went to Geo's Bane before the Shrunken, I assume that the Mighty Blade means Shrunken next. I'm a little surprised they didn't go Shrunken first, I think. I mean, it certainly would have saved him there. He would have popped the Shrunken, ported and been fine. I don't have the right clicks yet to be able to kill him in the Shrunken time. But his farm is picking up 325 gold per minute, still just below that Flux. But certainly decent. At this point in the game, really, as a Sandwraith, you want to be at the 400 plus GPM mark, but again, bad start. And this hero does not turn 220 gold per minute, really, even, or 250 gold per minute even, into 400 GPM like Hag can, or like Scout can. It's not a hero that does that. It turns 250 gold per minute into 330 gold per minute because it does not farm that well. Now, if you start at 330 GPM, you'll get up to 450 pretty easily. Invis Engineer down here, looking at this Parasite, acting like he's going to do something. Parasite grabbing a Wild Hunter, perhaps looking for a jump onto Sandwraith. Instead, will head middle. And Angie's still following horse, can no longer see Parasite because he's invisible. Ward of Rev goes down there. Once again, I feel like this is in range of that ward, but nobody's going to be visible. Pyromancer here, presumably looking to stack one or two of these camps. Could be in a bit of trouble. There goes the keg and the turret. Sandwraith ultimate. Yep, and there goes the ultimate. Pyromancer going to try to pour it out. Not going to happen as Mizukami snipes him with the power throw. You just sit there. You're watching that engineer, you're like, I'm waiting for this. Just waiting for this to be death. So nice pick there on the Pyro. I don't think it matters too much. Legion still have a substantial lead, and meanwhile, Pyromancer, or Luna herself gets picked off. Hello, Wild Hunter. Oh, look, you're dead. So Mizukami with 1200 health investments dies relatively fast to the Parasite. So I think Sandwraith certainly needs somebody else to come. If it's Bubbles or Parasite, they won't be able to pick him off solo. It's probably going to need a two-person gank. But at this point, if your carry only needs 2 burst magical damage heroes to kill him, that's a bit of an issue. Even if they're strong ones like Bubbles and Parasite. Because we're now 35 minutes in this game, and his farm should be amazing. He should be able to just be like, oh, Shrunken Head, I live. But he doesn't have a Shrunken Head. Honestly, if he had Shrunken Head, he might be able to turn that around. because I mean the damage would basically be nothing. It'd be right-click auto attacks from Pestilence, or from Parasite, and from Bubbles, which is like tickly. Parasite actually it's a little hard. Bubbles is really hard. Oh, he's got a sheep stick now, so there's that. I love that pickup. Like I said, I think I would prefer it over the Hellflower. And I can certainly understand the lack of a Shrunken here. The Hellborn side does not really have very much magic damage or lockdown. Energy Field. I think Engineer is probably the real reason to get one of was Tundra Ultimate superior magic, so it'll prevent the damage, but it won't stop the stun. I believe that's the case. And maybe also does the damage, possibly. Yeah, 300 magic damage. So I think it's just the stun that it deals. On bot, Hag now perhaps in some trouble. Tundra's running down here, but she's going to blink away. The release comes in, and now that's going to be an issue. Hag pops her Shrunken. Parasite's screwed here. Puts the Bat Blast onto a couple, but she just needs to leave. Shrunken's still active, going to be very helpful. Has a blink up soon. There it is. Now Tundra's in some trouble as there's the sheep stick onto him. He's going to be dead. Flux is the next item on the list, and there's the Kelfield on a 1. Just a little too late for that port, but Flux is going to die here, thanks to the Impale. Despite the creeps being in the way, Pestilence still able to get through and kill himself. 2 for 1 there, losing Parasite, taking both Tundra and Flux. Probably a pretty good trade here for Legion. As it'd be a little different, I think, if they picked off one or both of the supports for Parasite, but for that, it's a pretty solid deal. They can also save this Ballista and come push bottom. Actually, that was nice that it got sidetracked by that, because otherwise it might have ate too much tower damage in the beginning. So, Pessy's going to get up in the front and do a bunch of tower damage. Pyromancer off to the side. We'll put a ward down, and Hellborn not interested in defending this tower. Puts the glyph up. That's going to be a little helpful, but this tower is still dead. And this is very probably a Rax.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Because Sandwraith is still top, has the ultimate obviously, can initiate whenever she wants to, but right now it's just the supports. So I think if Legion initiate on the supports, they're going to see the jump from Sandwraith. But yep, just interested in the Rax, and get it and get out. Well played. $510 gold per minute on bubbles. This is literally, I think, the most farm bubbles I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen a 500 GP on bubbles before. Except for like in a 15-minute CC game where he just roams like crazy and gets all the kills. Meanwhile, in the middle, Sandwraith ultimate going down, looking for a pick on bubbles here. And will die. Has a Shrunken, actually. No, that wasn't a Shrunken, excuse me. Pyromancer next on the list. He's so dead. Pestilence off to the side, has a Shrunken activated. Will try to run away. Puts the impalement down. Shrunken wears off, looking for a jump here. Portal key is available soon. Jumps back and TP's out. So 2 for nothing there, as the Hellborn team get a couple of heroes back from respawn and fight back, but they can't really turn this into a push. And I think they know it. Sandwraith is still off in the jungle farming. And now 370 gold per minute, so his GPM continues to rise, but so does Hags. And so does Bubbles. Meanwhile, Tundra is just not getting that much. He has a Shrunken now on top of his portal key, but he's just not a big damage threat at this point. He's a little annoying because the avalanche is just a big problem, but that's mostly because of the burst initiation it provides, and it allows the rest of the Hellborn team to follow up because it stops you from doing anything. Hellborn, meanwhile, going to be attempted by, or Conqueror going to be attempted by Hellborn. Yes, the Hellborn are being attempted by Conqueror as well, I suppose. I don't think Conqueror's going to win that battle, but they're being attempted by him. Dropping real fast here. Legion have no vision of the pit whatsoever. Hawk over here will scout Pesty, who's just looking for a rune refreshment on bot. Actually, release from, or ultimate from Flux pulls him away. He was right next to a cliff though, so it doesn't matter. And Sandwraith throwing the ultimate out, so they're going to scout it with a Shell Surf here, but it's going to be way too late. Actually, Tundra's nearly dead. Puts the Shrunken head down and pops his portal key, so he will leave. Flux also has a Shrunken, and he's trying to run away. Not going to happen. Gets Sheepstick, and that's going to be an easy death. Obviously, token on Sandwraith. And those are fakes. lane's pushing in, of course, because the racks they've already taken. And the anti-push from Hellborn is pretty impressive. I don't think Legion really want to take this fight. With the token up on Sandwraith and only one death on Hellborn, it's not good. Cassandra can initiate on Hag here, and they could probably burst her down before anything happens, really. Maybe not. With all the CC tools on Bubbles, it'll be a little harder. It's just so much anti-push here. And Legion will back out. Not a surprising decision whatsoever. I think they realized the Conquest Snipe was a bit of a setback. I still don't think it massively changes their position. They're very far ahead at this point. And I certainly believe they're in control of this game. Bubba's going to grab a health pot there. I think they're looking to reinitiate, but there goes the Hawk. It dies. And see, Hellborn just boxed it. Like, this is never a position you want to be in. You never want to be afraid to leave your base, because now Sandwraith's going to have some issues farming. He can farm the creeps that are coming in, but he's not going to get all the CS. And that's just not enough, really. Like, he needs more than that at this point. Hellborn going to look to chase down the Legion side as they're escaping. Sandwraith goes out to scout them, but there's the Leech, and Parasite can eat a Desert's Curse. Looking for an infest here. Getting pretty damn slow. Bugs go on to passive, and he finds the Skeleton King, and now, man, a lot of damage there on the Sandwraith. Power Much are going to fall for it. So the impudent little Fireman is going to die, but there goes Pesty, just everything getting blown. Sandwraith immediately dies, uses the token, and Kaiman on Tundra falls. Flux is next on the list. He's going to die. Energy Field goes down. Shrunken Head's all over the place as Hag ports out. Sandwraith activates the Shrunken and the Geometer's Bane, so he's totally fine. Bubbles here looking for the leave, and he will get the PK off. So, Bubbles Hag alive right now. Bot Tower going to die, but there are buybacks on Pesty, so I don't think it's going to result in too much of a push here. Meanwhile, Bot Rack's getting pushed in by the creeps once again. Shrine's dying, so they're going to have to port back here to get these creeps the hell off the racks, and now Aluna's in the middle of everything. So honestly, I think Legion is good with that fight purely because they picked off the Sandwraith token, and that's going to make it much, much easier to deal with this Hellborn side. Knowing that if you kill Sandwraith, he stays dead. At least, you know, unless he buys back, in which case you just get the hell out of there, and you're like, okay, we forced a buyback out of him, we forced some gold out, and you can only do that twice, so we're going to be okay. Hag Invis over here, perhaps looking for a jump onto Sandwraith, and I think Bubbles is saying, yep, we're going to kill him. Pops the Geometer's Bane, but they know which one's real because he's running over here, and now he's dead. So screwed. There's a Sheepstick. They're going to drop everything on his face now on top of the Hellflower, and he's just dead. Dead. Nothing that they can do about that. Flux Release trying to get him back in here so they can get a return kill. Power Throw will snipe Bubbles, but not nearly enough. That's a pretty big pick there. It's kind of funny, like, with the, only Hag and Bubbles available, Hellborn were like, no, we don't want to push the base, and then they actually lose their carry to the only two heroes that were alive on the map for Legion. Bit unfortunate, but those are the two highest GPM heroes by quite a lot. And Sandwraith just still, once again, 370 gold per minute. Like, this is a 45-minute game now. If this were very, very many other, like, if this were a Moon Queen, right, and she started at 220 gold per minute early on, she'd be at, like, 550 right now. That's just how Moon Queen works. If this were a Dampier, that's how Dampier works, is he'd be at 550 gold per minute right now. Gemini, same thing. Sandwraith is just not a hero that recovers so fast, and is actually going for a Wingbow here. Nullstone picked up on Wretched Hag. Avalanche. Does not like Avalanche. Also stops the Emerald Lightning, which is pretty solid. So pretty much everything that can be targeted at her, except for the Magnetic Surge. But Flux's range on that is so low that it's probably not going to be in danger of being put up. Hag playing extremely defensive here with the Shrunken and Nullstone. Not adding too much damage in these fights, but still hitting fairly hard. 191 to 199. And, of course, with the Burst Magic, that provides a lot of extra. 3 heroes on the Legion side grouped up top. Kelpfield goes off for reasons. Sandwraith going to find somebody. light active there. Pyromancer perhaps in some danger. No, decides not to port. Legion Chung will be scouted out here by the Hellborn side, as they're checking stuff out. Nothing particularly interesting, no stacks anymore. Engineer just going to try to clean up the creep plan, and will do so. He has a bound die. So Parasite effectively shrunken head over Portal Key. A little surprising. Jump over here onto Engineer as Pesty finds him. The bound die is available, but shrunken head, or Chief taking like, guess what? You're dead, buddy.
What you gonna do about it?
You were not going to live through that. Sorry. Bound die's on the ground, so we'll see if anybody actually picks it up. Yes, Parasite will. PD active on Hag. Cleaning up some creeps on the bot lane. They've done a pretty good job of keeping this range Drax alive. Savage Mace on Bubbles. So, you may or may not know that usually my spiel on Bubbles is, don't put him short lane, he doesn't bring enough to the late game, he's not a carry. He's got 350 damage right now. He attacks 1.25 times per second, which is reasonably fast, and he's incredibly mobile, has a ton of utility items and CC tools. This is the rare situation. Meanwhile, Sandwraith ultimate going off. Let's see where he's going. Bottom to pick off this Pyromancer. That's going to be a little annoying for Hellborn, but or for Legion, but it's not going to be the biggest deal in the world. A little more damage for Flux and assist gold for Sandwraith, but not really a huge problem. Anyway, most of these short lane bubbles, and most bubbles in general, do not turn into 500 gold per minute behemoths. And most of the games in which Bubbles is played do not go to 48 minutes because usually he's either helped his team win by now or he's just not effective anymore, and it's basically like a 4v5 because supports cancel each other, but Bubbles just becomes, in most games, somewhat useless by this point. This is a carry Bubbles. This is the one time you're ever going to see a carry Bubbles. Hag caught in between a couple heroes here, done a little portal key away from the initiation. Legion will find nothing there. Engineer on top of the Hawk, gonna look for something. Drops a ward, actually right in tower range, and will pour it out. So that wasn't a great ward placement. Up top, meanwhile, they see Sandwraith. They know one of them is him. They're gonna look for a jump over there, and they're, oh my god, they're gonna get it. Nope, he's so damn fast. He's so fast. He's chasing him. If they had the sheep stick there and a kill, and they probably would have gotten it. I mean, with Pesty, Hag, and Bubbles, it's a pretty easy kill. That could well have been game. As it stands, Legion will back off once again. They're just looking for their pick. They're looking for a pick on the Sandwraith where they can take a second set. They can take it down a second lane. If they get that, the third lane becomes that much easier because you can basically stand outside the base and be like, look, you can either defend your base and lose this top, or you can lose your shrine. So either way you lose. Like, it's so damn hard to win once you have two lanes down. It's definitely possible. And Sandwraith is a hero you'd want on your team if you were trying to do it. But it's just so damn hard. Because, and really, it's the hardest against a competent team, and certainly a Diamond Division team is a competent team because it's so easy to slow play it. Conqueror is going to be up soon, and Legion is not letting that happen twice. If they get a Conqueror, that's probably game as well. Because what they're probably going to do is put the token on Hag. Could be Bubbles, but I suspect it's going to be Hag. Bubbles still has the Grave Locket, but we'll see. Bubbles does hit pretty damn hard. Wretched Hag has substantially less damage and just a few more attacks per second. So yeah, actually should beat Bubbles. So if they get the token, put the token on Bubbles, and Bubbles just walks up to the tower and kills it. Conqueror has just respawned. Hawk, of course, available from the Hellborn side, so they will know if there is a Conqueror attempt. And there should be a Conqueror attempt from one side. Release coming in, gonna try to pick her on Pyromancer, and then just bye. Puts the ultimate down onto Sandwraith's illusion, but I know this doesn't even kill it, so. Oh well. the life of Pyromancer in this game is a sad one, because no matter where he is, unless he's standing right next to one of his friends, and this might be his game plan for the rest of the game, is stand right next to one of my friends. Kongor now. Kongor. Kongor, guys. Hellborn are all around it. Sandwraith's coming in. Kongor, guys. Yeah, they know this is... They know. I mean, there's wards there, so they know what's happening right now. Hawk scouts them, so this is the... Yeah, and the Hellborn are going to back off. That's definitely the right call. Flight active from Pestilence. Tundra 4 Luckies away. Illusion Hag going to sit right on top of Kong. This is going to be a bit of a stalemate here. Of course, once again, the bot lane continuing to push in, and Aluna will have to go deal with that. Pyromancer's back up. I will say, the one thing about that, using the Sandwraith ultimate to pick off Pyromancer, at some point it becomes a bad thing, because your ultimate's actually more powerful if you use it at team fight than you use it to pick off a hero. Pyromancer does a fair bit of damage, but it's pretty much all burst. So, it's not really a sustained source of damage. He dies really fast. It's not a huge deal if he dies. And Sandwraith's ultimate is quickly becoming more valuable to him in a team fight than it is to the opposing team. Now here's the problem. Sandwraith went for that wing bow. We have two Savage Maces here on the Legion side. Both Bubbles and Wretched Hag have finished a Savage Mace. So that wing bow is going to be much less effective than it normally would be. The return damage is going to be great, and it's going to be really interesting to see if he's got enough between that and the Dispersion to lock people down. Flux now picking up a Shrunken Head, or a Sheepstick on top of the Shrunken Head Baroki. Tundra has 3,200 gold. Not too much farm on him once again at 254 GPM. DD on Hag. They're going to try to pick him off. Not going to happen. Sandwraith's up top. Has the ultimate active though, so he's in any fight. And this is going to turn into a Kongor attempt from Legion. And he's dying fast, man. Bubbles off to the side. Hellborn know this is going on. Like they have to. The Hawk's coming in over here. The release goes there, and so then I definitely know everybody's in the pit. Hag's ED wears off. Is this going to be a Kongor kill before? Nope. Sandwraith ultimate goes off, and everybody's going to get the hell out of there from Legion. Now Kongor's really low, so they have to be extremely careful about this. Sandwraith jumping in with the Shrunken Head, and he's going to pick off Pyro right off the bat. Sheepstick there onto Parasite. Now Parasite getting destroyed. Bat Blast hits a ton of stuff. Engineer ultimate goes down, and there goes Okami on Parasite. This is awful for Hellborn. Wretched Hag picks off Musukami, so both supports dead for Hellborn, but 3 deaths on Legion, and the Hellborn are going to clean up Kongor.
Kongor has been slain.
Shit just got real. Okay, now Sandwraith has a token. And now we're getting into scary Sandwraith territory, because she's got 408 gold per minute, which once again is not the best farm in the world. But at 54 minutes into the game, that's still a lot of money. So I think at this point Legion have to be a little concerned about where they're at, especially considering how that fight went. Because Parasite did nothing there. Pyromancer basically did nothing as well. They picked off 2 of the Legion's heroes before they did anything. And once again, Bubbles and Hag survived, and those are the most important heroes. So if they survive, you cannot have lost the team fight too hard. It was 3 for 2. The difference is the Hellborn only lost their supports, and the Legion lost everybody except for their 2 most valuable heroes. So the Kongor, of course, was the big deal. As there's a token now in Sandwraith, and that's going to be a really big issue for this Legion side. And honestly, there's a decent argument to be made that they shouldn't even have attempted Kongor, because that's the sort of thing that happens sometimes. You get Kongor super low, the other team initiates, and they win a fight, and all of a sudden they clean him up so fast. But it's one of those situations of the game where, like, we're not powerful enough to break base right here. At least they didn't think they were. It's very possible that they were. Especially with the DD on Hag. They probably could have just sat her on the tower and killed it. And no kidding, actually, at this point, Pyromancer's lack of farm is becoming a bit of an issue. Not just because he's getting picked off a bunch and feeding the Sandwraith, but he needs a Storm Spirit so badly. Thunder Illusion's going to get killed by Pestilence now. On the side, Parasite going to try to pick off this Engineer, It's not going to happen. He has the engine, the Shrunken Head active, but there goes the push book away and death on Parasite. So that's the thing is, Parasite's going to become less and less effective as his burst just doesn't matter anymore because the Hellborn side is getting a little too tanky. Bubbles looking to take something on top. Power Throw runs through. And Hellborn are grouped up. They're going to push top, or mid. This is going to be a bit of a base race. Top tower is getting pushed heavy by this Legion side. Power Throw comes through, and here's a port. 1, 2 ports, in fact. Both NG and Illumina are going to be here. This is going to be a top tower death. And Hellborn still have to get through this mid-secondary tower, which they're getting through rather quickly, but... oh god, there's no port on Bubbles, or... Hag has a port, but there's no port on Bubbles. Pesty jumping in here with the illusion as Sandwraiths can get the hell out. So they actually, that was a favorable trade there for the Legion, as they took a base tower and lost only a mid-rack, or mid one, mid-secondary. Flux looking for a jump here, and Hag will just port away. I doubt they're going to catch Bubbles. Oh god, he just jumps right into him. There goes the Sheep Stick, and he's off to the side. Power Throw is thrown, Shell Surf's available. But he has no room for a port. So he's going to have to worm his way back to base. Prevents the Desert's Curse. As somehow they can see him. I'm not really sure how. Bubbles is going to die here.
Payback.
He's got a buyback, and he's going to need to use it. Needed TP boots there so badly. He had 2,800 gold or something like that. I'm not really sure why he didn't have them. At this point in the game, just get rid of those marchers, man. You need that TP. It's just, you cannot not have a port. Bot is going to get substantially pushed in, so they need a buyback here from Bubbles to hold this. As it looks like Pesty's like, you know what? If you want to do this, my team will hold you down. Parasite getting picked over here by Flux. Will not die, but getting slightly annoyed. Bubbles, you need to buy back, man. You're losing your base tower. Pesty's doing quite a lot of damage down here, but he should just keep going. Tower getting dropped over here. Everybody getting initiated. Nasty Baboon falls right off the bat as Bubbles has bought out, but there goes Parasite as well. Now Pestilence going to be the next focus, and he puts the Shrunken Head up. Hag buys out again, and looking for a bunch of damage over here as well. Sandwraith is going to finally take it. There goes the token, though, as he's still not going to die. The Hellborn base is dying to creep super fast. And they just need to hold this off. Person dies on Pyromancer. And Sandwraith no longer has a token. Pops the ultimate. Being a little scared here, but Bubbles is in some trouble. Will die. No buyback on him. And they need to get this the hell out. Engineer's going to go over here and clean up these creeps. Tundra buys back as well. Everybody's porting back. So top lane is going to go in favor of Hellborn. Actually, no. Flux gets stopped, and now he's in some trouble. Going to get cleaned up by Wretched Hag. So they're only get the melee racks up top. They lost both of their base towers and had to actually protect their shrine. Sandwraith, meanwhile, using illusions to take down middle, but those are going to get cleaned up by Hag. This game, man. I mean, Hellborn are 100% back in this. And they probably shouldn't be. I don't understand why Bubbles took so long to buy back there. So long to buy back. It was really a big issue there. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. Legion have had a lead in this game for so long. They've played so well. Oh, this would be a painful loss. But Sandwraith is becoming a really big issue. Has a Demonic Breastplate, has an Ice Brand now as well. He doesn't have a port. That's notable. Obviously no port. Ask my Facebook people. Calm down. No port available on Bubbles either. Sandwraith ultimate going off. Looking, they got Parasite and Wretched Hag over here. She's going to get bursted down and killed. Nasty Baboon has a buyback. She's going to need to use it. Parasite going to die here as well. That's 2 for nothing. Parasite has no buyout. And I don't know what they can do. Are they just going to go for a base race here and figure it's going to take you longer to kill our base and it will take for us to kill yours? Mine, they're going to find Bubbles. So Hellborn know what Legion are doing at this point. And I don't think they're going to win this race. Because they're going to need to take down the Shrine, and it's not going to happen. Hellborn are going to take Rax here, port back, and be totally okay. Flux is back alive. Puts the Sheepstick there on Bubbles, and now Bubbles taking a bunch of damage. And Bubbles has no buyback, so if he dies here, that's a pretty serious issue. Everybody coming back here from Legion, as NG and Aluna are here. Pesty getting a Son of the Three Tundras here as well. Puts the Sheepstick on the Flux. Bubbles going to try to get the hell out of there. Has his token activated. And Sandwraith actually on bot getting caught out by everybody. Hag and Pyromancer, they're going to pick him off. Bubbles dies as well. But that's a death on Sandwraith. Now Pesty going to be able to pour it out successfully. And Legion hold off the bot push. They pick off Bubbles. He has no buyback. Sandwraith buys back immediately. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Legion. Sandwraith ultimate gets in. And he's going to jump here onto Pesty, I assume. Yep, there it is. Now Pesty's in it. No, Pesty's dead. Pesty has no buyout.
Can't touch this.
This is GG's.
A Legion barracks
Top's
has been
finished.
destroyed.
I mean, Bubbles is dead forever. Hag has no buyout. If she dies, that's it for her. Parasite has no buyback. He has a token, but no money. This is going to be bot racks. Oh, this hurts. This just hurts to watch, man.
A Legion barracks has been destroyed.
That's bot lane. Mid lane's going to die here, too, in a second.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
472, all of a sudden, Sandwraith's right up there. I forgot, Nullstone also stops the Flux
Legion
ultimate.
barracks has been destroyed.
I'm not sure that was the best decision,
Legion
honestly.
barracks has been destroyed.
Regardless. That's Mega Creeps. I mean, that's game. Maybe jump here, over here, onto Hag, looking to get her dead, and if she dies here, obviously that's game. She blinks away, has a shrunken head, of course. Parasite putting his burst down. Bubbles is back alive, but Parasite's going to fall here pretty easily. Tundra dies as well, but there goes Bubbles once again. Hag going to have to get back, and now they're well diving. That's game. Man. Okay, I want to say something. That was a hell of a game from both sides. They really played extremely well. Legion played this game so well for about 45 to 60 minutes. They took a bad Kongor and lost for it. They tried to take Kongor in mid. They lost the fight. He was too low. Hellborn finished it off, got a token on Sandwraith, and that basically ended the game. So, all the kudos in the world to Hellborn for sticking through this. I cannot believe they pulled it out. It is amazing. It is amazing that the Legion side
Legion tower.
managed to dominate the game as well as they did. Penguin on that Bubbles was phenomenal. They just took like one or two bad engagements, and that's what happens at the end of these games. You know, you lose one or two bad engagements, and all of a sudden it's gone. Because it could have easily gone the other way. If they had finished off that, if they'd won that team fight in mid and gotten the Kongor, that would have been game in their favor. Because there's no way that a Kongor or a Hag token would not have resulted in at least another lane down, and that would have been game, no question. Because Sandwraith just can't, like, as good as Sandwraith is, and he can win you a couple of team fights. It's so damn hard to come back from 2 lanes down. You have to initiate. You're going to put yourself in a bad position. It's just not going to work well for you. So, no matter what, fantastic game by both sides. The win goes to TKAG on the Hellboard side. Very well played to suit Super Reserves, though, and I just can't wait to see what